All right. Shalom Akim. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Recha Chodash. All right. I want to give double honors to my apostles and elders at Great Millstone, Ruwell. And I want to give peace, greetings, and salutations to all the elect Akim, that's pushing his word in truth and sincerity, throughout the four corners of the earth. And our brothers that's not wavering in the faith, being diligent in truth. I say shalom to you, brothers, and I say shalom, to the few sisters that believe and all meekness and humbleness, I say shalom. I'm your brother Zakaria from GMS Miami Camp, and the Lord willing, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah Bahasham, Recha Chodash, Adawan Ratazah. That means Lord willing. So Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to the elect of the nation Israel, And my lesson today, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah Bahasham, Recha Chodash. And I was going to base it on, this thing that happened at camp. We was going into being circumspect. All right, well, this example that the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah showed us, while we was camping yesterday. We was going into, which I'm going to play the clip. We was going into, we were supposed to be circumspect in these times, man, because we in the time of war, the time of mass death, the time of judgment, all right, and we supposed to be circumspect. You supposed to be looking around you, being locked in the spirit, being locked in the scriptures, knowing what's going on, and not being blind. All right, and the Lord had an example of a blind man walking down the street with a walker, with a cane, what it is called. The blind people, they hold a stick to guide and protect them, to guide, to make sure, all right, they don't run into things. I believe it's called a walker. But so there was an example of a blind man walking past the camp as we talking about being circumspect, and that's spiritual, because why? The Lord is showing us, all right, that the words are true. He gave a physical example, all right, of what we was talking about spiritually, because these majority of these people in this world are blinded, all right, and he's like Brother Ash said, he's probably more circumspect than these people that's in the world, man. So I'm gonna just play this clip and then get a couple precepts. I'm gonna close out low when this lesson's edified to the elect.
While we're fishing for the elect, but in that time, the Lord is going to get physical.
Yep.
Or we're going to be hunters.
Yep. Speaking about war, that's what we're in. We're in a time of war. We're not in a time of peace.
Right.
This is not the good old days anymore. It's not the 1950s.
1920s, the roaring 20s.
Yeah, we're not in the 1920s and 40s. We're not in those times, man, where you can leave your car door unlocked.
Right.
We're not in those times.
This is different spirit.
Exactly. It's a whole different spirit.
We're in the last days.
Everybody on edge. You see somebody walking behind you, better take another glance at this nigga.
Right.
You better be on guard. Don't trust nobody.
Right. Look, yeah, niggas, and be in La La Land.
Yeah, La La Land. You in the grocery store, it's a nigga to follow you. Yeah. How the fuck you don't know a nigga following
That's
you,
like
man?
women, nigga following you all day.
Docile.
Women got the grocery cart in one hand with the phone in another hand, like that.
You gotta watch these niggas. Scopeo.
That is mark the.
Watch these niggas Scopeo and mark them. Be on guard, man.
Yeah. Say, let me get it real quick. I got that second 15, but let me get this real quick. Ephesians. This book of Ephesians chapter 5. This one said that. Essential spirit of God. Oh yeah, this book of Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 15. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise.
That's the spirit.
Yeah, right.
A little cold, boy.
Yeah,
Don't be out here just walking blind, boy. Hey, the Lord cold.
There's a man that walked by that was actually blind.
He gonna circumspect that a lot of things. That's right. We're not in the time of that, man. The time of being aware. We're in the time of being aware.
All right, so you brothers seen that, and you three sisters that's watching, you seen how the Lord made an example, all right, of a blind man that's walking. All right, and that's a lot. That's like a lot of these people. All right, let's get a couple of precepts. This is Isaiah chapter 6. Isaiah chapter 6 and verse 9. It says, "And he said, Go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not, and see ye indeed, but perceive not." All right, they see, but spiritually they don't. All right, they can't perceive what's going on. Verse 10, it says, "Make the heart of this people fat." All right, which is going to the Israelites. All right, the Israelites, 2/3 here in America, and the unbelieving Israelites, man. All right, this is not for them. This truth is only for the elect. It says, "Make the heart of this people fat, and make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and convert and be healed." So the Lord got them blinded, and the Lord got them deaf. They can't see or understand this truth spiritually. Verse 11. "Then said I, Lord, how long?" He said, and he answered, "Until the cities be wasted without inhabitant, and the houses without man, and the land be utterly desolate." So our people gonna be blind until the missiles come. All right, they're not gonna be circumspect. They're gonna take that RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast. Even though, us start with our elder apostles, great millstone, the elder bishops on down, the elder camp leaders, the brothers. Even though we've been telling them for decades, but for years, the apostles for decades, brothers, for years been telling these people, but they're not listening, so they're gonna get caught up in Jacob's trouble. This book, Ephesians chapter 5, which I was reading it. I'll finish it off. Ephesians chapter 5 in verse 14. I started at verse 14. It says, "Wherefore he said, Awake thou that sleepest." So you're supposed to awake out of that deep sleep. I should say, "Arise and depart." It should say, "In that knowing the time that now is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believe." And the scriptures also says, "Arise and depart, for this is not your rest." Talking about spiritually, Micah 2 and 10. But the main point I was getting at, Romans 13 and 11. In that knowing the time that now is high time to wake out of sleep. So it says, Ephesians 5 and verse 14, it says, "Wherefore he said," quick, charger not working, so always something. It says, "Wherefore he saith, Awake thou that sleepest, and arise." It's like it. It says, Ephesians chapter 5 verse 14 says, "Therefore he saith, Awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead," which arise from that spiritual dead state. The scripture said, "A man that warneth not the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead." All right, so we awake spiritually. It says, "In Hamashiach shall give thee light." All right, this truth. Verse 15 says, "See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise." So what? We have to be walking circumspectly, knowing what's going on, measuring the time diligently, being occupied in prophecies, being aware of your surroundings. All right, this is the word circumspectly.
Strong's G 199. Akribos.
Akribos, exactly, accurately, diligently, perfectly, circumspectly. All right, to look around. All right, what is it? Etymology. Exact, careful, of the strictest set, the most precise or rigorous interpretation of Moses' law, and observing even the more minute precepts of the law and tradition. All right. So we got to look around us. All right. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 16, it says, "Redeeming the time, because the days are evil." So what? The days are evil. So we got to know what the hell's going on. Evil meaning bad times. We coming into bad times right now. Jacob's trouble. You see ice everywhere. All right. They're going to try to roll on the prophets, but the Lord got us. It says, redeeming the time because the days are evil. Verse 17, wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. So you got to know what the will of the Lord is, man. All right. This the will of the Lord is to destroy this place, to bring hell, bring famine, bring plagues, judgments. This place got to be judged. All right. There's too much blood of the Israelites that's been shed in this land. Too much wickedness, too much violence, too much murder, too much idolatry. The Lord's going to burn this place. So what? We have to be more circumspect and seeing, not as blind, not walking blind. All right, like these people in the world. And the Lord gave a physical example of a spiritual thing that's going on, all right, in the world, you know. And so I'm gonna just close out with that, just a quick lesson. I thought it was we all thought it was very spiritual. How the Lord, and this always happened, our brothers, different camps, I know y'all have examples like that come all the time. The Lord always showing an example. I remember when Elder Pastor Rakal, he was in Dallas and they was teaching, and then he was like talking about the people that helped the prophets, and the man came back with some water to help them, and now it's spiritual, And one time in Miami, we was teaching. We was going into, I think, Psalm 75. It says, and there was a cup that's red, and all the wicked shall rain them out. And there was an Edomite. He came, he came walking past with a red cup in his hand. So he had a red shirt and a red cup. He looked like an Edomite. So the Lord always brings examples of what we speaking about. He give us physical examples of what the scriptures is saying. You know what I mean? So, with that, I'm going to close out. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to the elect of the nation of Israel. I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah Bahasham, Racha Chorash. All right, I want to give double honors to my apostles and elders at Great Millstone with Ruel. And I want to give a peace, greetings, and salutations to all the Lagakim, that's pushing his word and truth and sincerity. Shalom, Akim, keep pushing, keep enduring. Shalom.